Hello and welcome into another edition of the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast. My name is Kevin Hickson. I'm your lead beat writer for the Arizona State Sun Devils on SI and your host of the daily Arizona State Sun Devils Insider Podcast, or mostly daily Sun Devils Insider Podcast. And I'm so grateful to be joining you on this beautiful Sunday evening about 5:30 p.m. Arizona time right now. Somehow it ended up being a big weekend for Arizona State athletics again. Before we get into the main point of today's show, which is going to be in football recruiting, I wanted to give the Arizona State softball team a great deal of credit for winning the Big 12 tournament as the number six seed in the conference in Oklahoma City, took down Arizona, took down Oklahoma State, and took down Texas Tech, who was a powerhouse this season, to win the conference tournament. And now they're playing in the College Station Regional, pitted against Texas A&M as the number two team in that region, I believe. And what a great season for Arizona State softball. They've been on the precipice of being great on multiple different occasions over the last 15 years or so. I believe they have a national title under their belt, but uh that might not be where they go this season, but they definitely have exceeded expectations or at least met them, and that's never a bad thing. Um and baseball ended up winning their home finale against Oklahoma State. They currently are shaping up to be a two seed in a regional. I'm not sure which regional yet, but that is where things are heading for them. And as for men's basketball, we are kind of in the end game for building out the roster. Uh, there will be a roster move that is announced within the next couple of weeks that puts Arizona State's roster at 12 players. That means they only need to add three more players: a point guard, backup to Joel Foxwell, another wing, maybe a developmental power forward, hybrid forward like a 3-4. Um, that's pretty much all we have for the current Arizona State uh, updates. Um, yeah, and that is where I want to segue into discussing Arizona State's very, very strong development. I think that Jake Hildebrand announcing that he is committing on May 19th, which is just over a week from now, is a very, very good sign that Arizona State is, in fact, going to land him. I think the earlier in the process he made that decision, the more likely it was always going to be Arizona State. And I really want to go take a deeper dive into why Arizona State is probably going to be the destination for him. But at the surface, it seems as if everybody, all the experts are sort of coalescing behind that belief that he will wind up with the Sun Devils. I believe on three, he's at 77% chance of committing to ASU. And the finalists are Oregon, Utah, and Texas A&M. Each team provides their own set of pitches that are uniquely attractive to a player of Jake Hildebrand's caliber. Utah just sent two tackles to the NFL in Caleb Lomu and Spencer Fano. Um, Oregon, robust NIL, state-of-the-art facilities, and really they produce the best tackle in the NFL currently in present day in Penei Sewell. Texas A&M, once again, robust NIL package, unique location, uh, kind of more of a chance to carve out your own legacy compared to an Oregon or Utah. And you get to play in the SEC, which is still considered the best conference in college basketball. I mean, college football. My bad. My bad. But ASU has several things that those schools do not have. And I think that Arizona State showing a lot of interest in Hildebrand from very early on in the process has always served them well. And I think that Hildebrand visiting the different practices on 4 occasions over spring is probably a signifier of how mutually interested he is in becoming a Sun Devil. And that's never going to be a bad thing for Saga Tuatele. And that's going to be the first reason why I believe that Arizona State is going to land Hildebrand. I think it's Saga Tuatele. What more can I keep saying about him? You know that all of you that have been watching me for about a year now know that I have been very high on the ASU offensive line coach. He hasn't always sent players to the NFL, but his track record of developing players from unknowns into very quality college players has always been there, no matter where he's been, whether it's Army or elsewhere. But he finally just sent his first NFL player into his first player under him at the college level into the first round of the NFL draft. Maxi Henishore is going to be a massive, massive pitch to prospective offensive tackles in the years to come. You look at how far Henishore went from coming to ASU in 2023 into being a first round pick in 2026. And a lot of that had to do with coaching because he had all the physical tools, he had all the talent in the world, but he needed refinement and he got refinement. Tua Taylor is one of those coaches that really sticks by the book. He sticks by his instincts, he sticks by his principles, and the result is typically a very consistent, very demanding yet rewarding operation. And um, I really do think that Saga Tuatele is going to continue to prove to be not only one of the best recruiters in the Western region of the United States, also one of the best coaches at the position. And that's not just for offensive tackles either. I think it's for the entire offensive line. I think that uh, Arizona State fans should be thrilled about the assistant coaches they have in general. Basaga Tuatele has perhaps become the most unheralded over the years. And I think that ASU fans should be thrilled that he is in tote for years to come. At least I believe. The number two reason I think why Hildebrand is going to commit to Arizona State is because of location. I know that that comes off as cliche. That's sometimes becomes a lazy answer, especially because you look at cases such as Koa Pete of Arizona basketball. Arizona State was after him for multiple years. He There was times in the process, per my understanding, that he was leaning towards Arizona State, but he ultimately went with Arizona. They're still technically the local team, but they're about 90 minutes away from him compared to about 20 minutes for Arizona State. Um, being the hometown hero, sorry, doesn't always mean that you end up taking that mantle. There are sometimes outside circumstances that prevent you from doing that. You want to do it at first, and it loses its luster over time. There are several factors that play into that. But I think that the fact that Hildebrand has grown up in Arizona, in the Phoenix area, in the Tempe area, and the fact that he's grown up watching a program that has underachieved for the most part finally take a step forward. He realizes that he can be part of something that's bigger than himself. He realizes that he has potential to carve his name into the history of Arizona State football in a way that he may not elsewhere, especially for offensive linemen. Arizona State is not known to be a school that produces great offensive linemen at the next level historically. But if he can be the second in a line that includes Maxi Henachor, he's doing exactly his job. And that means he probably would have protected Jake Fetty or whoever is the quarterback of the future for multiple years on end. And he has a real chance to, like I said, build a legacy for himself locally, be the hometown hero. Oh, sorry. And really overall, win Big 12 titles, compete for potential national championships. There are some things that he can do at ASU that might not be possible elsewhere. And one of those things is, to close out my argument, is that he has a real potential to play right away, to start right away. And that option may not be, it might be available at Utah. It's not going to be available at Oregon in all likelihood. It's probably not going to be available at Texas A&M. But in my opinion, I think he just needs to fill out his frame a few more pounds, and he'd 100% be ready to play at physicality level that the college game requires, at ASU especially. And I think that his technique, his skill set, his polish, all of that stuff speaks to a player that's ready to play at the college level right now, not just a year down the road. I think he could play right now. And I think that Arizona State recognizes that and values that. I think that the fact that they gave him a golden ticket really last summer really reinforces that he is the top priority for them, not only a top priority, but the top priority. And I think that they really need to go all in on him, especially now more than ever, because they lost out on Noah Roberts. They lost out on uh Zarek Sidney. They lost out on Cale Snyder. There are so many players that they lost out on in recent months that they really made it a point to prioritize. And while it's not a lose-lose situation because incredibly uh they've added incredibly talented uh players from out of state. Nico Nico Bland, four-star from California, four-star receiver out of California, is going to continue the trend that Hines Ward has built in Tempe over the last 3 seasons or so. Uh, Weston Nielsen is going to continue to be uh, part of an emerging quarterback dynasty that's developing at Arizona State. And I really, really do believe that Jake Hildebrand is going to be part of that revolution that happens at the offensive tackle position in specific. Like I said, commitment date is May 19th, which is a Tuesday at the very end of the school year. That's the end of his junior year. I would like to think that his commitment next week is the final commitment, that he won't reopen the process at any point during the season. So I think that if and when he commits to Arizona State, you will see an official visit to Tempe during the season, and no more visits to other places. I think that once he commits, it'll be finalized. You never know for sure, but that's just kind of my impression. And Arizona State's just doing a great job all around. That $10 million endowment from Brian Sweaty is a really good start for Kenny Dillingham. And I think that Arizona State's going to continue to take full advantage of the paths that have been afforded to them in terms of building a powerhouse in Tempe, in the Big 12, in the college football landscape nationally. Uh, that's really all I have for today's episode. I still think Jake Hildebrand is going to come to Arizona State. Uh, Commitment day next week, like I said. And that's really all I have. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into the Arizona State Sun Devils Insider podcast. Your support means the absolute world to me. And while I'm not 100% sure what my episode tomorrow will be, it's probably going to be something basketball related. So stay tuned on that. And until then, thank you for tuning in on today's episode, and I will see you tomorrow.